Everybody, welcome. Let me pop the chat out here. Okay.
Life here existed in a time before
Oh, get got, son.
this misuse of magic.
Okay, so they probably started topside. They're either invading or... I missed half that wave. Not good. Ezreal got it, I guess. Hopefully Kha'Zix is gonna be alright. I mean, he's just kind of casually doing this cancel. I mean, Lilia's not usually one to invade, but she probably started her blue and is pathing bottom.
I do nature's bidding.
Can't be good.
Yo, what's up, Butter? The classic Darius.
Leah's topside.
Okay. Yeah, she did get bottom earlier. Oh wow, so she double crabbed him. Just let me walk up and get those cannons. Good.
Through my work, shall transcend.
We're going for the AP version. Sometimes they have a lot of squishies on their team. And the poke complements Ezreal really well. Getting them low so Ezreal can poke them out. Hey, what's up, James? Yeah, I literally just started 5 days ago, or 5 minutes ago, man, on the stream.
Oh my god. Kha'Zix, really?
And I was a little bit later than usual. My my sleep schedule's been off. Hey, what's up, Shim? Good to see you, buddy.
I think Dragon's gonna be gone.
Probably. Ezreal better be careful not to die here.
Lily is bot side.
Okay.
Duck's missing.
Okay. Nice. Am I playing way too passively on Mao? You think so, James? Um...
Living or dead, they are all the same.
I mean, I literally just all-in and killed the Jhin. Ezreal did. I'm pretty sure Ezreal didn't even touch him. But I mean, yeah, it's Ezreal Maokai, man. Like you're not gonna be, unless they screw up like that, you're not really gonna be able to dominate them. Like Jhin Brand is gonna beat almost anything if you have an Ezreal as the ADC. It's fine. Like you're playing for later. But I mean, you look for opportunities. It's a poke lane, so I poked him out and then I flashed in and killed him. Well, I literally just killed him, James. Like I don't know, like how. What could I do more? I killed him and I killed the Jhin, made him blow both summoners. Brand blew his ignite, so I got 3 sums by myself, ran him out of lane, and we got a dragon off of it. Like, the only thing I could have done more was also kill the Brand. But I mean, that's just like insane to have that kind of expectation, considering the matchup. I mean, we are down CS, but that, like, it's just, it's not really playing for, you know, hard lane domination. It's playing for the scaling with Ezreal. Like, it's really hard to win lane in general with Ezreal on your team. Like, you're going to be down a little bit. Especially against, like I said, Jhin Brand is one of the premier sort of lane bully types of compositions. Yeah, Ezreal was pretty low a lot of the time too. I mean, I'm not saying like the Ezreal's necessarily playing bad. Like, it's a tough matchup either way. Well, now they've been poked out. It's a poke lane, man. Like, now we can start zoning them off and maybe getting some incremental advantages. But yeah, I mean, Maokai is not, like... This version of Maokai that I'm playing, the AP Maokai, is not notorious for being fantastic in the lane. Like, he's really a lot better in the mid to late game once you get some items and once you can play around the brush a lot better. Is Lilia coming?
She was bot, yeah.
Okay, I saw her around Scuttle.
She was mid, and then I think she had bot right here.
I mean, maybe it's possible. Like, sure, maybe there were some opportunities that I had. Like, you know, I'm not a perfect player, but I think I played the lane reasonably well considering what the situation was.
Really?
An ally has been slain.
It just depends. I don't think he's weak. I think you're deliberately playing for scale. With Ezreal, like, you're opting into that. If you're playing Ezreal, like, that's it, right? Like, if I play Leona or something like that, right? If I try to pick something that's really lane dominant, it just doesn't work super well with Ezreal. Like, it can work sometimes, but it's just, like, not as good to play that. You could play something like Zyra too, but then you're going to fall off in the mid to late game if you want to play more poke.
Colleagues coming down to help you guys. Oh damn, never mind. That's way too passive.
That's way too passive. Fuck, we've only got 40% of the kills on the team down here. We need to step it up.
Yep.
Ally has been slain. Turret Satan will fall soon. An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
Nice. Good job.
Could have came sooner and saved me, but I'll let it slide.
There you go. Oh, oh shit. I'm probably gonna die here.
Colleagues about to get a double kill.
All planned, all planned. I mean, I didn't screw anything up there. Huh.
Go.
Nah, it worked out, but that was a bad play on my part. I just wasn't respecting that they could just walk right in and cut me off. But yeah, I mean, the major strength of Maokai is his mid to late vision control and just how much like zone control he has with those seeds. Like, he's the best vision control champ, and the seeds are still really strong. I know he's not played much in like North American Pro. I know that internationally he did have a really good win rate a couple of patches ago. He has been nerfed since then, and Mandate has been nerfed, so he's not as good as he was. But well, Black Falcon, you told me to come on at 1 o'clock. I was waiting on you, man. I wanted to log in at like 10 p.m. but Falcon was like, "Nah, man, you need to come in at 1 o'clock." So I was like, "All right." I thought that's what we agreed on. I was busy freeing my mind, man. So many colors to experience, you know? Imperial Mandate or Moonstone on Nami. Probably situational, but I think Mandate is usually where she goes. If you're going for lane dominance.
such a bad game for Bran.
Yeah. Yeah. Malachi's extremely good against Brand.
I mean, and Kha'Zix, it's like,
Yeah.
just gonna die.
Exactly. Most impactful team fight supports. It just depends on what your team's looking like. But in general, if we're talking scaling, if you just get left alone, like they just don't touch you in a 5v5, and you get to 2 or 3 items, probably something like Sona or Soraka or Yumi.
Your
But
team has destroyed a
um,
turret.
they have any healing? Not really.
Dominating.
Oh, they galed.
I guess we can just get Void.
If I am already lost, I will take them with me.
New friendly champ, Mandate. Yeah, both Mandate and Moonstone have been nerfed, but you just have so many good like slows. Wow. Well, I guess we got 2 Psalms.
Has destroyed a turret. Your turret has been destroyed.
They dive.
Watch out for the splash. Okay, you're good.
I was like, oh my god. Yeah, forget. Jin's got kill force.
Yeah, Maokai is good. The AP option is still pretty good situationally. And then the tank option is actually, people don't do it a lot, but I think it can be pretty good too. If you need some hard engage. Especially if you pick it early and you're thinking you might want to go AP and then they, you know, pick something where the tank option might be better, you can just switch it up. Most CC is... I'd say probably... Well, it depends on what we mean by most. If we're talking like you have the most uptime on your CC in fights and a bunch of different pieces of CC, I'd probably say Leona. Because like her CC's just on such a low cooldown with a 90-second ult, a 5-second Q stun. Her E can get down to like 6 seconds. But if we're talking this like big chunky CC, like what's the longest CC chain? Maybe Rel. I don't know. Rel has a lot too.
We do this.
Like an itch beneath my bark.
Oh no! How did he not die from that? I thought for sure he was gonna die. Never apologized since 1999. Yeah, Nautilus has a lot of CC as well. Double Lift actually had, I can't remember what he said, but he was saying that either Medios or Double Lift said they really liked Nautilus a lot, but then they were explaining why he has a low win rate in Pro. I think a lot of it was just that he's just really squishy compared to some of the other champs that are tanks. God. Did you guys see that?
An enemy has been slain.
Not Jason dying there, but the the Ezreal almost killed the brand in one shot. It was like over half of his health from one Q. That's why it's like not only does, you know, he just works so well with Ezreal, AP Maokai does, because you have that poke, but it's also just the vision. So Ezreal can just free fire.
Legendary.
I don't know.
Probably could.
The green in these plants. It is something I have lost.
Professor, I am about to fix my mind. What? Professor, I have fixed my graphics me. Did you find an add-on? Professor, I have found an add-on for my mind.
I told Black Falcon earlier that I found an add-on for my mind.
Nearest mortal net.
I've been listening to all of this side trance music lately. It's got like videos of these like trance music festivals, and everyone just looks like they're so freaking high on mushrooms or just some other type of psychedelic. I asked my wife, I was like, can I just have a midlife crisis and like go to some of these festivals or what? She said, well, I guess that'd be better than you know, some of these other things. I'm like, okay, good. That's the spirit. That's what I like to hear.
Stillness is not peace, it is death.
You know what, honey? I don't necessarily approve, but it's not the worst thing you could possibly do, so okay. Lord. We done got goofed right there.
I once had peace. It is better to
I need to go
have
by.
purpose.
I'm not gonna be able to get that one.
Nature conceals darkness.
Find higher meaning from that conversation. Well, you're gonna have to free your mind too if you want to.
I cannot stop. The forest needs.
So we're getting Void Staff here. They haven't. No, they haven't nerfed it yet. I think they were thinking about nerfing it next or last patch, but I don't think they ended up doing it. From what I remember, I have to go back and look. But anyways, it's not nerfed right now. Yeah, they have no vision on Baron. There we go. And that's the power of Malachi. You just eventually just lock them out. They either give you every objective, or they just continually fight you and keep walking into seeds and things like that, and you just wear them out. So Void Staff, because it's cheap, it's 2,500 gold, and it gives quite a bit of damage. So Demonic is a similar amount of damage, depending on how much max HP they have versus how much magic resist they have. But even if they don't have a ton of magic resist, which they don't yet, I still think that Void puts up similar damage to Demonic, and it's 500 gold cheaper. Now, you don't get the health, which definitely is meaningful, but
An enemy has been slain. An ally
we might do
has been
Demonic
slain.
next. So you don't get the health, but you get to come online faster.
I will end this misuse of magic. What have you wrought, mortals?
Get sold in a minute.
Okay. I should have just left the seeds in there and poked her out, but she wasn't going over there, so I just settled for taking all those small raptors.
Your team has destroyed
Ooh, that's a bit ambitious. Okay, well, he got it, though. And you're still pretty tanky, too. I mean, Maokai is a pretty unique champ in that, you know, he ends up putting a lot of damage on the battlefield, like a poke mage. But he's also, like, has really high base stats. So, you don't want to just, like, you don't need to hard engage on him, typically. You just force him to walk into you. But if you need to try to peel an assassin or something back, you can do it. And, like, Mandate also is really good for 2,500 gold by itself, versus Mandate's, like, not that good on Zyra and Brand, unless you get Rylai's with it, which takes 2 items. Look at that, half a Brand's health, 1 seed. So yeah, he's kind of unique, and then he has these different properties where you can be sort of a semi-tank, and then Demonic Embrace is really good on him too. That is good on Brand and some of the crew. And you can survive poke lanes usually pretty well. You've got your passive for the healing. You can take biscuits. I mean, there's a reason I was spamming Maokai for a while there at a pretty high win rate. Now, it did fall off a little bit after he got nerfed a few times and the meta changed, but I still think there are some good places for him. Just his matchups into some of the enchanters and things like that can be kind of hard if they can heal through your poke. Thoughts on Cheap Shot and Ulti Hunter on which champs? I get that on Leona sometimes.
Well, that's gonna have to be it for me. I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully.
Yeah, it's all good. I'll see you later, man. Good
Alright,
game.
Take care. You too. See you.
I think I went over to Falcon. I think I went over to STV at 31. You can get some of the early quests. You can probably, I don't know how like mages work. Like druids are, you can do pretty well at fighting some mobs that are like a couple levels higher than you. You can still do it pretty efficiently. But I don't know like how that would affect your farming, because you're a lot more mana reliant. You have to drink, and like resists matter a lot more if you get resisted and things like that. I think. I mean, maybe it doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, a lot of those little panthers around Nessing Way, as I'm sure you know, are like level 30, 31, something like that. So you can do some of those early quests. I think I was in Thousand Needle until about level 31. I did Barons into... Check these damage charts. Ezreal's going to beat me, but... I mean, that's still respectable for a support, right? Like, buying only support items. I didn't even have a lot of kills. I had 2 kills. I was 2-0 and 14. You know, I had 7,000 less gold than Ezreal, right? So he had almost double my gold, but I was like in the he did 20% more damage. 25% more damage, but he also had almost double my gold. So it was pretty efficient. Okay, let's see if we can get on the other account. We'll play a couple more here. So I think I went Barons, Stone Talon. I did a few quests in Ashenvale. I think some of the early quests in Ashenvale were probably okay. Went around and killed all the little Furbolg things. That quest was alright. There were a lot of Furbolgs. I think there was probably enough to do in Thousand Needles. I don't remember. The Salt Flats were really good, but I don't remember what level you have to be to get into that. I think that was available at level 30-ish. I think I may have done Salt Flats before I went to STV. So at like level 30, I think I went over to Salt Flats. And they have some really early, you know, go kill these units that were pretty good. That was also in Thousand Needles, but it's the, you know, the salt area. Oh, let me... Yeah, we'll go with mid there. Make your paladin on a different account and just like double box, multi-box, is that what they call it? Where you just have like on one computer or your laptop or something, you have the paladin just follow you on your mage and you just run around and boost yourself on your mage. I mean, that can work. You would be paying for 2 subscriptions, so eventually it might be better if they're all on one account. If you want to be able to access them both at the same time, but you could just cancel your subscription on the Mage account. Or, I mean, if you don't mind, whatever, paying for 2 accounts, maybe it doesn't matter. But you could probably, I don't know what it would cost. I did read somewhere that, Naruto. Someone was saying, I don't know how the economy works, but that, like, a mage, you know, or somebody could boost somebody for, it was like 1,000 gold or something. But I don't know how that works.
You would love the dead and the void.
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely help you out with some clutch things, or some, like, difficult types of things. And I can, you know, probably feed you some relatively cheap greens and stuff like that to help you out. We power boost in some dungeons. I'm trying to think about builds. I'm trying to, like, theory craft some builds for Druid where I could tank or heal dungeons, just in case you're not logged in and I'm still power grinding or whatever. Or if there's someone else, you know, as hopefully we're gonna be trying to level up 30 people or whatever. If I, you know, can run through some groups with some other people too, to help them do some dungeons faster. It'd be nice if I could have a dual spec build like that. I don't think they're gonna give you literal dual spec. That would be sweet if they did, but I don't think they're gonna do that. Wow, they are really just trying to say, here's the lane, have it for free. Where's James? James is going to love this. Of course, we're not going to be that lane dominant with Vayne, but, I mean, it's just Lulu, right?
Pleased to meet you.
Come on, please pick. Okay, thank you. I was like, this is looking good. I'm hoping. Tom Kinch, just right there, unbenching the Kinch. That was kind of weird on Lulu. I don't know. It's cool though. Okay, she's going for kind of this. I think that's like a red type of thing. I don't know. I'll just keep exhaust. That's fine. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. But then I also want to be able to level. You think they hard win this lane? I don't know. One of them dodged. Because like I need to probably be able to level a little bit. I'm going to try to stay in the dungeons, but there might be some quests and stuff where if people just aren't on. Hey, what's up, Wings? Maybe I could, you know, level a little bit. So I would like to have some feral. Like, there are some different... there's one where you could be Moonkin plus healing. And that would let me level some, I think. In theory, it's been speculated that could be good. I'm not sure if that is faster than... Feral is just so fast for leveling. Because you don't use your mana for your animal abilities. So that lets your mana... Like, your mana is just constantly regenning at that full spirit value while you're killing mobs. And then just every, like, 3 or 4 mobs just, you know, regrowth... rejuvenate on you and just run to the next mob, and then you're going to be healed up and your mana is going to be full by the time you're done with 3 more mobs. So it's just like this kind of infinite loop. of farming. Versus if you try to level as like Moonkin at that point, I think it would be more difficult because you might have to stop and drink sometimes. You do get a lot of mana regen, but TK just runs me down? I don't know, man. I think you're giving TK a lot more credit. Maybe. I mean, maybe he could go super aggro and get us. I just don't think he's going to get close enough. But maybe if he's alpha TK. But with that one, that would definitely have better healing than another version. But another one I've been looking at is there's actually a cat talent in TBC that I don't hear a lot of other commentators talking about, which is when you're in cat form, 100% of your agility translates over into plus healing. So if you have like 200 agility, if you just stack agility, then you get like 200 plus healing, which is not going to entirely make up for the fact that, and I don't believe you don't have to be. I don't believe you don't have to be in cat form. You just have to have that talent. So I've been wondering, like, if you could do it, if you could tank that without Mangle. I don't know if you could do that or not. You could get almost all of the good healing talents except for Tree of Life. But if you have to have Mangle, I think you could go for a still have like a pretty good healing touch build, which is kind of a no-no in like raiding. It's not as good as just spamming the hots, but I think in just a 5-man like healing touch is still going to be a very efficient heal that's pretty solid, and you can get a lot of buffs to healing touch with those talents. Just in raids you don't do that as much because you have other healers with you, and you know, just the paladins and priests are going to be, you know, their heals are probably going to be better than yours, so you just have them on sort of the spam, you know, spam basic heal on tank type of duty while you do the hots and stuff. But in dungeons, when you're the only healer, when you're the spam basic heals on tanks person, I think healing touch might be underrated, because a lot of people talk about like, here's your spec when you're like going into raid, right? But especially with druid and you have so many hybrid options, it might be better just to be flexible early on and say, look, I can heal for a dungeon, I can tank for a dungeon, I'm going to be able to farm out in the world a little bit if I need to, or do some quests. Like, having all of those options might be better, and then you respec when you're, you know, ready to go to Karazhan. Huh. Galio. Oh god, Galio's so annoying. It's hard to play and engage with that champ. Ugh. I have so much good peel here. But anyways, I'm still like doing some numbers and theory crafting that. I am gonna release a druid guide to the best of my ability that just kind of walks through some of these things. Maybe we can get this looks pretty bad. I think I'm probably just gonna dodge this. %38% Wukong, 22% Samira. Samira is just a dumpster fire right now. That champion just seems so bad. Like, she can go off, but they just have like a really good comp. It's like all tanks that deal damage plus Azrael. The stimmy. Nice. Wait, what's... I'm confused. Maybe I shouldn't ask what Butter's talking about. I think we got the stimulus last week. I wasn't sure they gave us the appropriate amount, but I mean, it is what it is. I'll take free money for sure. Well, money that eventually we have to pay for through either higher taxes or growth, but nice. Dude, my wife was looking to replace a couple of these windows around here that are like jacked up, and we called like some window repair people, and they're just like, or window replacement people, and they're just like, we're completely slammed. Like, we can come over and give you an estimate in like 1 or 2 weeks or something. And my wife was just like, is it springtime? Why is everybody like, why are these places so busy? And then she was like, oh, it's those stimulus checks. LOL taxes. What are those? Yeah. Fed printer go burr. That's right. I mean, now people are used to this. Everyone used to hate this idea of socialism to some extent, right? But now, you know, socialism's a bad word, but handing out these stimulus checks over and over and over again, everyone's like, hey, you know, I kind of like this. I kind of like getting money, just people handing me money and just spending it buying random stuff. This is cool. English chick. For any financial advice, that's right. Hey, yeah, why don't we just, since we're all in the stimulus mood, everybody just send your stimulus checks my way, man. Just everybody give me 1% of your stimulus check. It's all good. Hey, thanks, Zergy. I appreciate it. Nice. Congrats, Kamoy. I'm not up to date. These different influencers. Or whatever she is. Someone mentioned her on here before, I think. Last fall.
You wouldn't last a day.
Why are people playing these weird ass champs? Yeah, inflation is a big deal. I don't think we're going to go into hyperinflation mode, but yeah, I mean, inflation probably going to be a big deal. Now, if growth can catch up, okay. Does this guy play Vagar? $5 to int. It's 2 games of Vagar. Is he switching? Probably not. Well, I mean, I kind of have to go Maokai, I guess. I can't do any enchanters with Vagar. It could do something like Yumi. Yumi's actually banned. He just doesn't work well with a lot of the items out there. Yeah, Seraphine had kind of disappeared for a little minute there. It's been a while since we've seen her. Zen hasn't been updated yet, so he's still bad. I mean, this guy does have 80% Corki. They do have like a top Ezreal. They have some weird shit going on too. I guess we'll play it. Seems kind of bad, but I'm getting baited by the fact that they have a really weird comp too. Okay, it's Callista top. So by the fact that they have a weird comp also, and this Corki's like 80%, but yo, what's up, Pontiff? Yeah, it does look fun. I'll definitely try that out. I still have a vampire campaign that I need to get started on. Seraphine is kind of annoying. She can, heal through some of my stuff. Probably gonna have to get Morello.
30 seconds until minions spawn. Minions have spawned.
Oh my god, the Raptors!
The forest, in the forest.
He ain't gonna be happy about that one.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain. Double kill.
Wasn't there someone trying to sell bathwater or something? I probably should not even try to get into that conversation, but I mean, hell, if people want to buy it, man, like, I don't know. I guess Twitch has a right if they, don't want certain things to be sold or whatever, then they have a right to say no, but Oh, that was Belle Delphine? Okay. I thought she was associated with that. That's about all I remember is hearing some girl was trying to sell bathwater and people were all up in arms about it. It's like, man, people buy like stuff that a lot of people think has no value all the time. Like, why is this like so shocking or problematic, right? I mean, I guess she's one of the maybe the front runners in the simp conversation. Ask me how I know.
Killing spree.
Okay, well, this game's going a lot better than I suspected it might. Dude, this Skarner... Actually, the Zen's not that far ahead, considering that I killed him level 1. Like, Vagar took his camp, and I killed him. We're actually, like, not really that far ahead. Stimmy hits. Wasn't somebody selling bathwater? Yeah, man. Dude, you know, people complaining about that. I just saw something as like a cryptocurrency piece of art or something. What are they calling it? Like, non-fungible or something or other. NFT, non-fungible transaction. It's basically like a Bitcoin piece of art that sold for $70 million. Of like a living artist. I'm like, dude, if somebody's paying $70 million for that, why are people freaking out that Belle Delphine is selling bathwater for whatever, $100 a cup or something? I mean, people give her money for literally nothing, right? Just because they want to give her money, and they do that with all kinds of streamers. She's not unique. They're, you know, that's just how like stream stuff works. So if people just want to like, why is it okay just to give money as a donation, but it's not okay to, like, receive bathwater in exchange for it? Like, I don't know. Haters just gonna hate, I guess, man. If she's found a way to make a lot of money and, like, help, you know, make a name for herself, help her brand out, then why not? I mean, didn't the Kardashians start off with some kind of, like, porn scandal or something? Wasn't that one of... I mean, I'm pretty sure they had money before that, but wasn't that one of their major, like, contributors to their fame? Okay. We got our flash. How much for my bathwater? Negotiable. We can discuss. Or can we? I don't know. I'll have to check the terms of service. Hashtag grinder. We'll find a platform.
Once they were human, now they are only in my will.
2 subs. I think the whole simp thing, I don't know. Like, I understand the frustration that, like, sometimes people think, oh, well, this person's not, like, skilled. Seems like it's kind of just about video game culture, too. Because guys having unrealistic expectations and spending money on women is not a new thing. Like, that's a story as old as time. So I think a lot of it is just video games where you have people that, you know, women that may not necessarily be the highest ranked getting donations and things like that because they're attractive or, you know, whatever. Right, but it's like, once again, that's happened all the time, so why are people mad about it? I think it's just that there are a lot of content creators that are skilled at the game that maybe don't get as much recognition because, you know, they're kind of basic or standard or whatever, but that's just how it works, man. I mean, people don't always watch, you know, content creators because they're the absolute best at the game. They might offer something else, right? Like me, for example, you know, I'm not a challenger, I'm not a pro player, but, you know, I think a lot of people tune in for the conversations and just kind of the in-depth discussions about things, or just kind of the chill atmosphere. Who knows? But it's not because I'm the best player in North America. I'll tell you that.
Stillness is not peace, it is death.
Why weddings got so political? I mean, historically, weddings were super political. I mean, part of that's money, but a lot of that is just power. I mean, that's how you get alliances with other people most of the time, is you have family members that are shared. So that seemed to be like a really strong bond, you know, between people most of the time, at least historically, is family. So you, in other words, you put some skin in the game. If you want an alliance with, you know, the nearby lord or tribe or whatever, you get your son or your daughter married to their son or their daughter, and that's, you know, it gives you some skin in the game, so you're less likely to betray them because you'd be betraying your own family, which happens, but adds that extra little layer of security in a lot of situations. Jeez, how far behind are we? Actually, not that far. The Vhagar is kind of a tough matchup, or Ezreal's a tough matchup for Vhagar because Ezreal can just E out. Now you can get Seraphine, but Ezreal can E out of a lot of situations, like the cage and things like that. I should have waited on one more shot. I wanted to, but Ezreal is so annoying. Nice.
Unstoppable.
Life, I will trample them.
God, that Ori ult, I should say, was pretty oof from them. They just really wanted to kill me.
I will fight for every pebble, every blade of grass.
Maybe wasted a lot of time there, just putting down some relatively shallow vision. I kind of need to say, like, I'm so close to getting Mandate, and that's such a huge buy. Now we probably want to go Morello here. Oh, I was top. Yeah, I got to number 8 Recon NA at the start of, I think, last season. So yeah, I mean, I was pretty good. I mean, if I can get back to Diamond, like, that's top 1% or something. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not the best, right? I did kind of bail on him there. I thought he was dead for sure when the TP in the mid lane come in. It was like almost 1v3 until the very end. I chipped in a little bit there.
Fight for the saplings.
Don't want to lose too much experience. Can we even defend this? Yeah, they're gonna want it.
Killing spree.
Oh, they thought they were cute. Why did he stop, I wonder? God, what a massacre. Well, this game went a lot differently than I thought it was gonna go. I mean, I thought we, like, could possibly have a chance, but I thought it was gonna be a lot dicier. I mean, we completely murdered the Skarner level 1, so that was huge. Because then he had no pressure on any of the lanes.
One with nature.
This is interesting. Divine Sunder Corki.
Every step defiance.
Do you have Moonstone yet? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and get at least Oblivion Orb.
Mortals, irritate me.
When did they get a dragon? I guess early on.
Not bark.
And Callista has some healing too. Like, it's not amazing, but I think with Moonstone, you definitely have to consider it.
I will end this misuse of magic. Branches grow.
Rampage.
The idol is over.
This is like super aggressive, but they're so far behind.
I cannot stop the forest need.
Guys probably just having nightmares about these Maokai seeds right now.
Dominating.
I didn't even see the Veigar. I maybe didn't need to flash. If I sidestepped the Seraphine ult a little bit better, that would have worked out. Do I even want to look it up? I'm kind of tempted to look just to see what the controversy was or like why that happened. I would report everyone on my team, but TP. Oh god. Alright. Alright, we'll see if we can get one on the other account. It would be nice to get the main account back into Diamond sometime soon. I will have a patch notes video out for you tomorrow. I finally did get to level 35 in WoW, so now I can start turbo fishing. Maybe do some other content. I still want to try to level up steadily, but there's not as much of an impetus to do it as quickly now that I can fish a little bit more. I'm probably not going to do it on stream, but yeah, I will be there. I'll be on the client. Probably grading some essays and fishing. What a fun game. Yeah, I mean, it's fun for us. It's probably not very fun for them. They were like, 3-20 or something. Yeah, I know. The thing is, if I do it on stream, I don't know. I need to grade essays tonight. There might come a time where I could do it more on the stream. But that is one of the perks. Is that I can get some stuff done. Either with grading papers or maybe my dissertation at some point. Slowly grinding away, that's right. Hey, we do need warlocks. Warlocks and hunters. Bring them on. I've been seeing, as I go up in levels, I'm seeing more people in these zones. Like, it's not, like, flooded, but I really don't want it to be flooded. Like, we were talking the other day, I don't think Dave's been on here tonight, but Dave and I were talking about it, and it is a low pop server for now. I think a lot of vanilla servers are slowing down, but it's just that most people are high level, right? Unless it's an alt. And so a lot of people just aren't going to do, like... Dave made a good point that the dungeons are fun, and to do dungeons is good, right? But, it's a lot of people just aren't going to do low-level dungeons, because it's just not usually that efficient, unless you have, like, a pre-made group, and you go in there, and there's a lot of quests in that dungeon. Like, maybe if you have a pre-made, and you're doing Ragefire Chasm, like, one run, or one run of Wailing Caverns, where you do all of the quests... Yes, but a lot of the other stuff, I don't know, maybe on larger servers you could find groups for it, so you are missing out a little bit there. But I think the higher level dungeons, like closer to max level dungeons, you can probably still find groups. Like, I see people asking for groups for Scholomance and stuff like that. Ubers. Discord channels and add-ons. Yeah, I can give you permissions for that, sure. Yeah, if you want to help out with a Discord, I would love it, because I really don't know a lot about that stuff, and my time is divided in a lot of different ways, so... But anyways, that is a concern that. But I think with like TBC, it's not going to be as much of a problem because it's a much smaller area. It's still like a pretty big place, Outland, but not nearly as big as Vanilla WoW. And there are summoning stones, and a lot of people early on are going to be like running dungeons. So I don't think that finding groups for dungeons is going to be a problem in TBC. Like it is right now, sort of, but on a smaller server. I'm gonna see how the economy like pans out. Right now, like my auctions are selling pretty well, and I looked at the gold economy, like what's the average across all realms, and Stallag's pretty close on average, like the prices. So it's not like a super warped economy. There, like I said, there are still 15 guilds that have full cleared Nax, so it's not like nobody is there. Right, that's a lot of people right there. If someone was plat in Season 6, does that mean they are gold right now since many people get better over time? Well, it just depends on where you place. Like, wherever you place, that's where you are. But yeah, I mean, if you haven't played in a while... yeah, you're going to start lower. But yes, I do think the community in general improves over time. But presumably the person from Season 6, if they've continued to play, has probably improved also. So I think if you end up being in the same area the whole time, right? If you've been, you know, platinum for 5 years or something, I don't think that necessarily means that you haven't improved. You might just be improving at about the same pace as other people. We don't really have a tank, but
Let me guide you.
I want some, like, I want to be able to heal through the Seraphine, maybe. I don't know. I might end up dodging this. Is that guy good on Dinger? Not really. It's okay. It's hard to dive into them, like with Swain, Seraphine. It's 55%. Did I already use, I think I used a dodge earlier. I think our team comp's pretty garbage. I'm just gonna get out of that. We'll play our last one on the other account. What did I main? Like way back in the day, I played Warlock. Locket, Frozen Heart. I have not tried that. Locket has been the standard for a while. I do think that Frozen Heart is an underestimated item. I don't know if you need that much mana on Bard, but I could definitely see it against heavy AD teams. I stopped playing Bard primarily because so many ADCs have so much mobility with Gale Force, and just like so many of the popular ADCs have dashes and things like that. It was so hard to hit the ults. But yeah, I mean, I could definitely see that working against a lot of AD. But yeah, I played Warlock back in Classic. I almost played Warlock, again, I played in TBC also, but I almost played Warlock again but I kind of wanted to try something else out. And locks are going to be like really popular this time around. They weren't really that popular back then. I think they'll be popular. It's a lot more well known, obviously. Like what happened back in the day is, you know, people didn't know about Burning Crusade or like what it was going to contain and all that kind of stuff. So most people just went over with their class that they had from Classic. And a lot of people didn't play Warlock in Classic. It was okay as far as the class goes, but it wasn't really strong. But it turned out being super strong in Burning Crusade. Well, now people know that. So a lot of people are switching their class over to Lock. And it's just kind of a different culture now, too, where people have just like tons and tons of alts and things like that. Versus back in the day, I guess there were alts, but it feels like it wasn't as much of a widespread thing. You could have alts or change your class or stuff like that as often as people do it today. It's hard to hit the stun and it's hard to hit the ult now because Gale Force is like a free 90-second flash pretty much for dodging that. So I think I just ended up playing against a Jhin who had Gale Force and he dodged like 4 of my ults one game and I was just like, alright, I'm done with Bard after that. But he does still have a really good win rate, so I could try him again. I just did not personally have a lot of success with him. Seriously? Oh, they're switching. Ooh, this is before the Akali buffs. I think those Akali buffs are probably going to be pretty huge. Okay, well, they banned Morg, so they can't do Morg Kate. I guess let's go Lulu.
Pleased to meet you.
I assume they're switching. Yeah, everyone else is a duo in this game. Okay, this guy plays Twitch a lot. That's good. But yeah, I played Lock. Lock is good. Lock is really fun. It would definitely be on my short list. If I wanted to play DPS, it would certainly be one that I would heavily consider. I just kind of like healing in general. I don't know. Tanking might be kind of fun too, but I've never really tried tanking. I might end up doing some tanking. We'll see. Especially with some of these Karazhan runs. I am really digging the Druid though. I think Druid's pretty fun. You don't need a lot of course he picks something that's like terrible into Caitlyn and like not good with Lulu, and he has no experience on it because, you know, who wants an easy game? Guess he got scared about Leona, so he didn't want to play. He didn't want to play Twitch into Leona, which is probably smart. So I feel like maybe, I guess Vayne is bad into Caitlyn. It was just kind of a tough setup for him. Now, does this guy actually play this? He's not that good on Akali's. Okay. What's he against? Echo. I guess we'll play it. Hey, what's up, Finn? Yes, there are usually like certain classes excel at certain things, and then you need certain pieces of gear, like items. There's like permanent items you can equip to your character that give you different stats that make you better at certain things. The Druid, depending on your specs or your talents, which are kind of like runes from League, it's like a certain kind of build path you can go, which powers up certain parts of your kit. The Druid has basically 3 different, like, pretty viable types of playstyle. Where you have like a tanking style, you have a healing style, and then you have like a spellcaster mage style. of play, and they're all like pretty decent. But that's rare. Most classes don't have like a good, like all of those styles. I think Druid's the only one that can. I guess Paladins can do all three. So there are a couple, but yeah, usually you are heavily sort of committing to one role with the vast majority of classes. So like Warlocks, for example, all they do is damage. Hunters, all they do is damage. But most of the tanks and healers also have a damage version that they can do. The Druid just is able to do all three, but that's rare. Like, their damage is sort of subpar, but they give your allies, like, lots of buffs and things like that. Their healing, I think their healing is pretty good. Some people say it's middling or average, and their tanking, depending on the situation, can be sort of top tier. Tank probably seems my kind of style. I think Paladins, Paladins are good, like, AoE tanks, like, dealing with lots of mobs. Warriors are, like, the classic, you know, like, just really good tank with a lot of different abilities. And then Druid, bear tanking, I think, is going to be really good. I think Druids in general, like I said, are pretty good all around. Now, the leveling experience on something like a warrior is really bad, from what I hear. Like, it's very difficult because they're really gear dependent on in their damage form. They require, like, good weapons and things like that. They don't have a built-in heal. So I've heard it's one of the most brutal leveling specs to try to, like, do by yourself. Black Falcon says Paladins are pretty difficult to level also. Druids are by far the easiest tank version to level. Yes, you don't really want dedicated tanks for PvP, because, you know, people are just going to ignore the tank most of the time. It's good to have stuff that has some resilience that's difficult to kill, but yeah, picking like a proper full-on tank is not good. But there are certain things that are difficult to kill, right? Like Druid healers are difficult to kill in arenas because they can still, even though they may not be like decked out in tank items, they can still change forms. Like they can turn into the bear, which has a lot of innate health and armor and things like that. And then they can just run around and like heal themselves. So they're like difficult to kill. It takes a lot of effort to kill them, even though they're not a proper tank. Same is true of Warlocks. Like there's a way that a certain build Warlocks can go where it like splits the damage between the Warlock and the pet. And then they have a lot of like healing built into their kit too. So they have a lot of dots and hots and things like that. Damage over time, heal over time. So though they can be surprisingly pretty difficult to kill also, even though they are cloth-wearing mage type of champs. But yeah, you're not gonna probably see a very successful, like, you know, shield-wearing, heavy armor warrior type of thing in arenas. It could happen. And that's only like for competitive arenas, like where you're trying to, you know, get a good rating and stuff like that. You can just have fun in battlegrounds and stuff with a bunch of people. Do races matter? To some extent. It depends on how hardcore you're going. But for certain classes, I think that there are some major advantages to certain races. Druids can only be one race with each faction. So like Horde, they have to be Tauren, which are like these bull type of classes. So you don't really have an option there. But most races, there are options. But I'd say that, depending on what you want to do, there are usually a couple of options. But yeah, usually, if you're really going like hardcore one way or another, PvP or PvE, there's typically, with most classes, a best race. So it just depends. Like on Horde side, Orcs, if you're doing PvE, are extremely powerful. because they have this cooldown that's... They have this cooldown that's basically like a mini enrage type of thing where you do like extra damage for 15 seconds or whatever. And they have proficiency with, I think, axes and maybe one other thing. Your pets do more damage when you're warlock, and you have like stun resistance. You just have like a ton of crap as orcs. So yeah, orcs are usually considered pretty good for PvE and PvP. If you want to do like more PvP stuff, undead are pretty good because they have something that can get them out of fears if they activate it. As a like a caster, like a mage or something like that, trolls are really good because they have a kind of similar to orcs. They have a racial that gives them extra casting speed, so you can cast your spells faster once every like 3 minutes or something. Orcs are swords. Okay. And humans are swords. Yeah, humans are really good for PvE on the Alliance side because they have the extra sword specialization. Which I don't remember the exact math behind that, but... Can we challenge this? I don't know if we can. They're taking damage off the dragon. She's gonna zone us out. Eve's backing off of it. I think she's just pushing mid. Yeah, it was gonna be difficult to get through that choke point, so we probably just had to lay that down. Hey, what's up, Scott? So it's not like you totally are like unviable if you go for a you know, in raids if you go for an undead warlock instead of an orc warlock, but you know, it'll marginally help you out a little bit. The thing is, doing the extra whatever little bit of damage every 3 minutes doesn't sound like a lot, but there are a lot of these modifiers that stack together. So like if you have all these other buffs from your allies, a little bit can go a long way because they all start amplifying each other. But yeah, you do have some flexibility. So it's not like it's ultra determined. Right, it's just like in League, right? You can still like win even if you don't play the exact best champion you could possibly play in a situation, or you don't buy the best possible item. If you're still playing really well, it'll just, you know, all things else being equal, it would put you at a slight disadvantage. Matters even less so probably in WoW in the grand scheme of things because you're just one person out of 25 than it would in League where you're one person out of 5. And the choices are between a character, between a champ in League is going to be much more impactful on average than a race in WoW. It's walking up to Polymorpher. But yeah, if you want to try tanking out, I mean, there are lots of guides. I could tell you more about certain guides. I'm going to be coming up with some guides too for different aspects, just based on what I've kind of learned by looking at other guides and just what I've kind of theory crafted. So stay tuned for that because I will be putting out more info on that. But yeah, I would say if you want some versatility and you want to be like a pretty good tank and you want a good leveling experience. Oof. I would say Druid's probably the best. You don't want a ton of Druids, like, in your game. You don't want to overdo it, but I think that they can be quite strong. Could have exhausted. Okay, she got him. Oh, Lucian's not gonna be happy about that. Damn it. I'm just gonna go ahead and back. I could try to get a plate or whatever. Eve does like benefit really well from the gold as long as Lucian doesn't lose his mind about her taking that camp. I think that's not terrible for the team. Yeah, we're not gonna be like hard. I just want to clear the content and have a good time, right? Like, God. So yeah, I mean it's much more important to clearing content and being successful, just having the right kind of attitude and showing up. I think is much more like I would much rather have somebody that. It's kind of the same way in League, right? It's like, yeah, ideally, you know, in a perfect world, people are buying the right items and playing the right champs and things like that. But I would much rather have someone that knows what they're doing on their champ, has a good attitude, is willing to learn, you know, and that type of thing. If I was building a League team, like, that's what I would want. Like a Clash team or something is somebody with the right attitude that is, you know, willing to learn, showing up to practices, and, you know, that type of thing.
Rampage. An enemy has been slain.
Meant to be more beast armies, how he can recruit monsters from other races when fighting a faction from that race, like a Stegodon. No, I didn't. I actually have not even really been following Total War lately, but that does sound really cool. And I am going to do some more content for it. I know I've kind of let the Total War people down over the last month or so. I just kind of been overloaded trying to do other things. Now that I tried to add WoW onto the palette of time that I didn't have to begin with. But I am going to get back to it. I know that there was someone who emailed me that was interested in, like, maybe funding a Ricard campaign. But I still owe him an undead one as well. So I'm going to do the undead one, and then he'll probably fund a Ricarth one as well. So I'm going to try to... Maybe I could do both of those at the same time. If only I could WoW fish while I'm also recording, like, a Total War campaign, like, on the side. I guess I could, but it would be pretty crappy content creation. They're all hard diving top. Yeah, that was worth my death. I mean, we stalled him out quite a bit. Hey, Scott, thanks so much, man. Oh, you got it. Did you guys get a stimulus too over there in New Zealand? Or are you just feeling it today? As you see, I've twice knocked up the Leona while she's been, like, going in with her E. Okay, we are behind though down here, so we gotta be careful. A lot of our power is in the Eve and the Gnar right now, so we want to wait until we can use that. God, that vision's so terrible, but... Okay, Leona's there. We might be able to turn it around, but... Caitlyn's supposed to, like, pretty hard win lanes. Like, you're just gonna lose lane to Caitlyn. Unless your jungler, like, camps. But that's usually okay because most champs outscale her. Lucian's not necessarily one of those champs. But he's doing fine. I mean, we're only down 10 CS. Like... We've absorbed a lot of pressure down here. Like, they've tried to gank us several times, so... I mean, our team has too, but... It's fine. I'm gonna outscale the Leona. Probably in a lot of situations. Start the new job next week, Stimmy. Oh, nice. Sweet, man. Always appreciate it.
Your team has destroyed a turret. An enemy has been slain.
That's a decent place to put a ward. Like, it's not as good, obviously, as controlling the tri-bush, because it's not going to see if they come from red. But a lot of people gank. They'll do golems, and then they'll gank bottom. And that rarely gets cleared out. As I say that, it literally gets cleared out. We... Fucking hell. What are we doing? We're all just like hanging out here watching them dive us? That was just so goofy.
An ally has been slain. Triple kill.
I guess it worked out for Eve. Please don't die to Leo. One more. Ah, damn it. Couldn't get the auto in. Maybe should have waited just a little bit longer to bait him. Or did say something else? I think with warriors though, like if you really want to tank, yeah, well, you're not gonna have that many people that are on like permanent tank duty in 25 mans, right? You're gonna have maybe 2 tanks that are like permanently the tanks. But then you do have several other classes. There will be certain fights where you need more tanks. Like you might need 4 tanks on some fights. So having a class that can go back and forth between specs is very helpful. Warrior is one who can do that. Warrior can go DPS and then switch over to tank on some fights. Now, they're not necessarily the best at that, but it can still be like pretty decent.
Shut down.
Druids are much better at that, so you can like, because you can have the exact same spec and do like pretty decent damage and also tank. Like you can just switch your gear out if you go feral DPS and then switch into tank mode. But warriors, like, people kind of talk crap about DPS warriors, but I think like they can do all right if they have the right kind of setup. Like it's not like you can't clear content with some DPS warriors. Like they're, you know, maybe they do 5% less DPS under ideal circumstances than like a hunter or something. But you know, again, if it's somebody who's showing up that's like getting the good gear and things like that. What? How'd she kill him? Damn it, that's Gnar or Malphite. Okay, so a raid is basically in Burning Crusade, which is what we're going to be playing, which should come out eventually. A raid is 25 people that all get together and try to kill specific bosses. So usually it takes longer to kill the boss, and there are different kinds of mechanics. Like the raid might ask you to do certain things, position certain ways, or it's just going to be a little bit more complex in terms of what it's asking you to do. And the gear requirement to succeed on it is higher. So you have to have higher quality gear. And you get higher quality gear. Like the best gear in the game for PvE is going to come from raids. So so it just requires a lot more organization. And a raid, you can only kill a boss from a raid once per week, and it resets every Tuesday, so it's a lot more rare to do raids. Dungeons are 5-person groups that early on provide pretty good gear and require like a certain level of organization. It's not as strenuous as raids, and you can do that usually with random people, most dungeons. Now, with Burning Crusade, there are normal dungeons and there are heroic dungeons. And heroic dungeons are just a harder version with more bosses that are tougher and sometimes additional mechanics. And it drops better gear. Some of those can actually be kind of challenging early on with random groups. So having friends or people you can trust might be like beneficial there. Not going to be as hard as the raids a lot of times, but can still be good nevertheless. So dungeons, good group content that you can do with your friends or random people and get some pretty good gear. Doesn't take a large time commitment. Usually you can do one in 20 minutes or something like that, depending on the dungeon and how like proficient your group is. Raids, on the other hand, that is a thing where usually with most guilds it takes a while to get the mechanics down, to learn the fight, to practice it, to get everyone on board, performing well, and they call that progression. So you might die on a boss 50 times before you get it down if it's a really hard boss. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do Staff of Flowing Water just to help the Evelyn stick to people a little better. Give her a little more AP. And that, so usually there are, because you have to get everyone there, you have to get the 25 people on at the same time, so usually there are certain nights where you go in and you want the same group all the time so you can learn it. So this you don't want to do with random people, usually. Some of the easier ones, you can do what they call pug it, which is where you get random people to do it with you. Or people that you, like, maybe know a little bit that aren't, like, in your guild. And so that is going to require 2 or 3 days a week, most likely, and probably 3 hours, like a certain 3-hour block. It depends on how much we need to do, but
An ally has been slain.
it might be Baron. We do have waves pushed in. I can maybe delay that. I'm probably going to die, though, if I try. I'm just trying to delay him. They see Akali bottom. They don't know where Eve is, though, so I think they're too scared to do Baron because they don't know where Eve is. But yeah, so that's a thing where we would set it up. I'm going to try to maybe do it on the weekends if we can. We'll just see the times that people want, like Saturday, Sunday during the game in the afternoon might be a decent option. We'll just have to see. We could do longer. We could try to do like 2 4s or something on Saturday and Sunday, but I don't know. But it has to be a consistent time, and then for that you'll need consumables, so like different potions, elixirs, and stuff like that, just to give you every little bit of edge you could get. So that does take some gold, which takes some farming to get. So you might have to go kill some monsters for an hour or 2, depending on how much gold you're getting. You're gonna have to spend some time to get some money for your consumables every week. And there are a lot of different ways you can do that. You can kill monsters, you can run dungeons, you can do different professions like alchemy or leatherworking, tailoring. You can do that type of stuff and sell it and get your money that way. Yeah, so it just requires a bit more time investment to do the raiding. You know, you can still be, if you're interested in like joining the guild, you can still be in the guild and not raid, right? You can just do dungeons and battlegrounds, or just hang out and chat with people and just kind of have some fun with it. Starting to become a problem. Did Eve die? Yeah, she's got a lot of kills, but now she's dying more. We gotta have Eve. Just has all of our money, and she's just trying to go around and assassinate too many people, I think. Okay, thanks, Scott. Appreciate it. Guess we just go Ardent here. Redemption could actually be pretty good. Maybe I go Redemption. I feel like we have enough damage. Just helping people survive a little bit longer. We can change our mind if we want to go Ardent, but... like, helping someone heal through the Tryndamere could be useful. I can just wait until he ults and then poly him, and that's gonna negate a lot of his power. No one's here, so I can't really get, like, great vision.
You'll see more than your eyes can
Really? God bless.
An ally has been slain.
Dude, that was totally the wrong fucking way. God. Because this is all probably going to be warded. Of course it is. Like, Gnar, if you're not the support, don't touch the dust late game, because you're probably not paying attention to where the wards are. There's probably one right here, too. See, we could have swept all of those wards out. Actually, no, he, well, now there is. Tryndamere's putting a lot of pressure. I can't go down there. He's just gonna get it. Please don't try to kill that Malphite.
That tasted purple.
I don't have any wards here.
An enemy has been slain.
She blasted me away. We're gonna lose this. The Eve just like inted too many times. Like, she had such a huge advantage.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Nosy dewdrop. You'll see
Yeah, no problem, Finn. I'm like 99% sure that dust is up. Because I was walking over to hit it. Hey, what's up, Lucas? I don't really care if he gets banned or not. I mean, I'll probably report him at the end, but I'd rather just not even waste time. I mean, dude's not even admitting, like, there's just no point. Like, 99% of people, especially under Diamond, are not gonna say, you know what, my bad, I messed that up. You're right. That was stupid, I should have hit the dust. They're just gonna just constantly come up with excuses, so there's just no reason to say anything. Like, he's literally just sitting AFK, like, that's the irony, was he's talking about us like literal AFKs when he was actually sitting in this lane AFK waiting on someone to walk up while I was trying to establish vision. When he could have been there with me and we could have picked somebody off if he played around the vision. So I'm like actually over there doing stuff, trying to protect the objective with vision while he's actually sitting AFK in a lane. They come in and sweep my wards out because we're not protecting the wards. And then he's just like, hey idiot, you're AFK, why don't you have any wards? Why don't we have any vision of this Baron when he hits a blast cone that's sitting literally on the same screen as the dust? It's like the irony is just so tremendous. It's just hilarious and he doesn't even see any of it. That's fine. I mean, it's whatever. That's why this is a low plat game and not a professional game. Nice, okay. It's better just to not get him heated either because, like, we could still win the game, right? Like, that was a really good fight for us, so. Usually it's not even worth it to say, like, I should not have said anything to him. Even if you're right, like, it doesn't matter. Like, what matters is that going to help you win the game or not? And, you know, usually it's not. It's just going to get them flustered, even if you're correct. Yeah, right now we're playing on Stalag if you want to play. I can hook you up with a little bit of gold or something if you want to get started, just to help you buy some initial items. There's a chance we might transfer servers at some point, depending on what people want to do. I know there have been some talks of that, if we want to go to a more populated server, but there's still, like, people on it. It's just not, like, swarming with people like some of the other things, and there are pros and cons to that. I don't... They're gonna be on this. They're just gonna import on me. We gotta get this dragon. Yeah, they're gonna have to back, I think, and deal with base. I think they're just gonna give this dragon. But we just had kind of an awkward back timing. I mean, maybe I could have stayed, but I did get a big item. I don't know, maybe that's my bad. If I was there, maybe I could have contested that better. I'd have to go back and think about that more carefully. I didn't have any cooldowns left, so I don't think I could have done much more there. I could have dropped the I should have dropped redemption faster, like immediately as soon as Gnar went in. I should have dropped redemption, and maybe we could have made it. Yeah, I think it would be busier too. I mean, there are certain perks, especially if you're newer to the game. Like it sounds like Finn is going to be, like not being like 24/7 turbo ganked in Stranglethorn Vale is probably a good thing. I will admit it is very nice to actually be able to do the questing and leveling there. Because like, I just don't really care about doing PvP when I'm leveling, right? I just want to get to, you know, max level or just like chill and put on some music or whatever and not have to worry about that rogue that's sitting there camping me for an hour. Yeah, I should have redemptioned a little faster. I kind of redemption after the play was already made. I mean, ideally, I already have the redemption coming in before the Malphite even ults, and then it hits, like, immediately right when he ults. Well. I guess. To me, the world PvP, like, I've never been huge into it. It can be interesting, but I think there's plenty of opportunities for that at max level. Where can we go? We're kind of walking on their vision. I kind of also don't have any wards left. I should have backed. I mean, I don't know. I mean, if we can get a fight with them here, that'd be great, but I don't think we're going to get it. Tryndamere can probably beat... I don't know if he can beat an R one-on-one. Maybe.
You'll see more with your eyes closed.
We need Lucian here. Okay, that was pretty dumb. Holy shit! Dude, he just did 2,500 damage, like, basically instantly to me. Look at all those different forms of damage. He auto-attacked me once. He did so many different types of damage, Riot doesn't even know where 750 damage came from. They're like, you just took 750 random damage. We don't even know what the hell it was from. What? I couldn't even ult myself fast enough. I was trying to step forward to ult someone who was out of position, but I just couldn't do it. The Eve opening that fight was just so stupid against Leona. Like, Leona literally just presses Q on you and you're done. Hey, what's up? You're an Intersock. I don't think I've ever seen that before. Riot actually doesn't know what did 750 damage to me. Wow, they don't care. Who cares? Alright, let me just see that replay again. Just to see if I was wrong about that. It's right there. It is literally right there. It did just spawn, but it's totally there before, like right there. Like 2 seconds before she blast cones over, it was there. And if we look at how like this play developed, right? Trinimir's got pressure in the side lane. Like we've got Scuttle. I've got some vision here with Gnar, but Eve is just like sitting here in this lane. She's just literally sitting AFK waiting on someone to show up, and that allows the Leona with the Malphite to walk in here and like clear out this vision. Caitlyn's right there alone. She could have snuck up and killed the Caitlyn that was on my vision right there. But yeah, it's not that I like wasn't warding. I had like perfect vision there. It's just she's just sitting over there in the lane right now, and they come in and kill my vision. They see a Kali bot lane. They just killed somebody. Or I guess they didn't kill anybody, but they see a Kali bot lane. They know Lucian's bot lane, so of course they're doing Baron. I don't have any more wards left because they swept them out. There was a plant that I was going to go hit, but then she knocked me away with the blast cone to go in randomly with no vision. The Baron's at half health. Did we see the health of the Baron earlier? I don't think we saw the health. Like, we saw they were doing it, but either way, it's like, you just got to think, what is your probability that you're going to blast cone in and perfectly steal the Baron? Nothing. She could have also ulted away, so I guess you could blast cone in to take a look, but as soon as you see that it's at like 50%, you have to blast cone, or you have to ult away immediately, and she just died in there instead, when she could have just ulted. So yeah, she could have wasted her ult to take a look and not died at least, but I shouldn't have gone in there. Like, the play was dead. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just trying to play around like the Nard teleport, but I should have just let it go. But yeah, so I was right about that play. Pretty sure I was. Like I said, my mistake was committing with the Gnar after the Eve was already dead. I should have just let the Gnar die or disengage, because I may have actually baited the Gnar into staying as well. She was CC'd a lot by the Leona, so that's another consideration, is like, if you blast cone in there and Leona's there, you've got like very little time. But yeah, maybe if I run away immediately, Gnar just abandons the play and he lives too. So who knows? But anyways, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank y'all very much. I will try to scale it back down to 11:30 so I can play a couple more games every night, see if we can get back to 5 games a night. And then I am going to do a patch notes video for tomorrow and a support tier list for tomorrow. So stay tuned for that. But